Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tackling something I know a lot of us have banged our heads against, getting your AI models live without wanting to pull your hair out. We're unpacking some absolutely incredible insights from Anand Vemula's Tech Horizon channel. We're going to explore a framework that literally shatters the traditional timelines of launching complex AI. We're talking about moving from a sluggish, agonizing crawl to absolute warp speed.
So what if LLM hosting took only seconds? Seriously, I want you to just pause and think about that for a second. Imagine removing every single ounce of deployment friction from your workflow. Look, if you've ever dealt with large language models, you already know the drill. Setting up the infrastructure, provisioning those GPUs, configuring the whole environment. It can take hours, right? Sometimes even days of just endless tweaking. It totally kills your creative flow. But what if we could take that massive, clunky timeline and literally crush it down to mere seconds? It's a total game changer for developers.
Zero. That is our magic number today, guys. Zero friction. That's the ultimate goal we're chasing here. I mean, when the technology itself, these mind-blowing AI models, is evolving at breakneck speed, your deployment process has got to keep pace. We just don't have time for roadblocks anymore. We need a workflow that operates at the speed of thought, so you can iterate, test, and launch without ever hitting that dreaded wall of server configuration.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the Instant AI Promise. Tech Horizon with Anand Vemula.
Here is the core statement anchoring our whole explainer today. Anand states it plainly: deploy AI LLM models in seconds. Now, the sheer radicality of that phrase, in seconds, it really can't be overstated if you work in this space. It's not just some nice little incremental improvement. It is a fundamental shift in how we actually bring AI applications to life.
But wait, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's just make sure we're crystal clear on what we're actually speeding up here. LLM hosting is heavy lifting, right? We're talking about the required infrastructure and intensive compute processes needed just to wake these massive models up so they can actually receive inputs and generate those magical outputs. We're dealing with massive memory requirements, specialized hardware. So when we talk about doing all of this instantly, you really start to appreciate the immense technical weight of what's being accomplished behind the scenes here.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering RunPod Hosting, the platform for speed.
The source material positions RunPod as far more than just a simple tool or, your basic server host. It's presented as the essential, purpose-built environment for mastering this rapid deployment process. It's really an ecosystem designed from the ground up to handle the specific, super heavy demands of AI compute, but without all those administrative headaches we're all so used to.
And the contrast here brilliantly illustrates what we're talking about. On one hand, you've got traditional deployment. It's slow, it's totally riddled with complex dependencies, and it is incredibly high friction. Honestly, it just drains your energy. But then, on the other hand, you have the Tech Horizon approach. Instant AI deployment. It's measured in seconds, it is entirely seamless, and it is fully powered by RunPod. It completely flips the script on how we interact with compute power.
All right, Section 3, Deployment in Seconds, the illusion of steps.
Now, what's really interesting about this is just how empty the deployment process actually is. Step 1, access RunPod. Step 2, deploy your LLM instantly. Literally, that's it. It perfectly proves the source's point about radical simplicity. All that complex orchestration of containers, managing ports, fighting with GPU drivers, it's abstracted away so completely that the deployment process almost feels like an illusion. You just point, click, and run.
Let's see how this builds into an actual timeline, because this is wild. At 0 seconds, you select your model. At 1 second, the RunPod environment is already initialized. And by 3 seconds, your large language model is fully deployed and ready to receive requests. We are talking about a micro timeline here. You essentially blink, and your heavy-duty AI infrastructure is live and kicking. That reinforces exactly what that in seconds claim from the source video is really all about.
Let's wrap this up with Section 4, the Tech Horizon Takeaway. A quick summary of Anand Vemula's framework.
So the crucial point is really captured in these 4 pillars. We've learned that mastering LLM hosting doesn't mean becoming a master of manual server configuration. Well, actually, it's more like it means strategically leveraging the right infrastructure, like RunPod. And by doing that, achieving instant AI deployment isn't just a gimmick anymore, it's a very real, very accessible standard. You are quite literally going live in seconds.
Which brings us to the most important question of all. When you strip away the hours of frustration, the complex debugging of environments, and all that friction of traditional hosting,
When your deployment literally takes 3 seconds instead of 3 days, what will you build with all the time you've saved? Your focus gets to stay exactly where it belongs, on creating, innovating, and pushing the boundaries of what your AI can actually do. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on this explainer, and I absolutely cannot wait to see what you create with this instant deployment power.